Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another awesome episode of Tommy Talks. Tonight, we're not just interviewing one, we're having a foursome tonight, and it's going to get crazy up in here. Wait a second.
It's getting hot in here.
Okay, it's going to get crazy up in here. We're interviewing the what is sorry get my head together here, interviewing the legendary four of MCW. And who is that? That is Marky D.
Woo!
Marky D and Graham Hall and the man of darkness, devious one, the man with the longest streak in the business, devious Dave Rose. And the most electrifying technical. Oh shoot. I'm. Oh. Name slipped again. Sorry.
Isaac.
Isaac, the techie behind MCW. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another awesome episode. So, gentlemen, how are we doing here today?
Very good. Amazing.
I've been pretty good today.
Very nearly drunk.
You see what happens when you can't know my name?
Sorry about that.
I'm fixing my knee. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
My knee!
Thanks for having us here on your show, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're
huge
welcome, man. I'm happy to have.
I always wanted to be on the show, to be honest. I love this show.
Thank you. Well, I guess the first question goes to Marky D. Marky D, what is it like being the CEO of MCW and running such a tight ship and controlling your wrestlers to the points that where you want your storylines to go? How is it like? What is it like?
It's fun, it's entertaining, and having three amazing guys right behind me running it with me, you couldn't ask for a better group of people.
Your sunglasses are gonna fall off, Johnny.
They're not gonna fall off. Fix your knee first before you talk.
I did.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I enjoy doing MCW. I love what I do, and we run the best shit we could.
Well, by the way, Marky D, you might want to be careful about the language because it's a kind of like with WWE. It's kind of a, what you say, in between PG show. Just to remind you that.
I wouldn't know. You didn't tell me.
Oh, slipped my mind.
I run a TV MA show. We say what we need.
Okay, I understand that. No problem. Strike one. I'm just messing with you. Don't worry. A couple more, then you're banned, and then you're suspended.
Hey, you might pull a Marky D. What strike are you on in the company? If we're counting strikes.
Oh, we're not getting personal here. I was just being funny.
If shots are gonna get fired, they're gonna get fired by me.
Yeah. Well, let's not do that tonight. Let's be friends. Let's have a fair interview tonight here. And let me interview Devious Dave. Devious Dave
Rose. That's right. The one and only Devious Dave Rose.
How is it that you can go back and forth in between the Dark Show and MCW and not get overworked by the obvious product of MCW? How do you do it?
MCW is something that I've had a lot of fun doing, and it's a totally different thing from the Dark Show, and I find it a great amount of time just having fun. I don't see it as a task at all. The surprises that we find ourselves viewing when we watch this, because it's all random, is just incredible, and the storyline progresses, and we, I think, enjoy just being part of something that is organically growing on its own.
Okay. Now, do you ever find yourself scrambling to find a good storyline, or do you guys actually just sit down and have a a meeting where you're throwing ideas back and forth? Has that ever happened in the MCW planning room?
Well, my ideas always seem to be at least accepted by Marky D, who is the one that manages things. Sometimes they're accepted, sometimes they're not. But I know that at least there is that open channel where it will be listened to. But I never know what is going to be decided because it's always a surprise. And I would prefer it that way because just like good quality wrestling, you should never really know what's going to come out of the end product.
Hmm. Okay. Well, another question for you. It's just a question popped off my head. Um, do you ever feel like that when you're working in the company that sometimes your idea doesn't matter? Do you ever feel like that, or do you feel like everybody's idea copes with the business and the show of what's going on in the product?
I think that Marky D has never, ever made it an issue where somebody's ideas were rejected. I've always felt that everyone's ideas were always accepted, and I always accepted myself that bottom line is it was his show and his doing, so he would be able to do whatever he wants to do because it's his thing. But I've never felt that my ideas nor anybody else's were either shot down or totally ignored for no other reason than than they were an idea that somebody that he didn't like. He's always seemed to be open to any idea that's come across him, and in the end, he's used a lot of them. So I don't think there's any issue in regards to discriminating against what he gets access to in regards to storyline.
Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for that, and that makes me see that MCW is a very fair company, and that it's a very valid that in the valid point that everything goes through Mark. And Mark, I'm gonna say, I've said this in the past. Mark is kind of the opposite of what Vince McMahon is, but kind of like the face of what MCW is basically Mark is what you call a Vince McMahon of MCW. And now, okay, this question's going to go back to you, Mark. What gave you the idea for the name MCW exactly?
Well, MCW first started with me, Isaac, and our other friend, Joel. We never had a name. We used to broadcast gameplays of me, Isaac, and Joel going against the wrestlers that were most close to our fighting styles in the ring. Isaac would have had Dean Ambrose, I would have had Roman, Joel had Big E Langston at the time. And from that, we met Graham, we met Dave. So Graham was made into a luchador at first. And from thing, my nickname is always, it's Marky D or Mark Mayhem. And Mark Mayhem, Mayhem Championship Wrestling, it just was stuck. MC Dub.
Okay, that sounds like a reasonable title right there. That sounds like a.
Are you the only ones called MCW?
I don't think it makes it sound like I'm the only one because it's more of mayhem is a word that just describes it. It's my company, yeah, but you have wrestlers that use their names in their wrestling corporations. Maybe not WWE, maybe not WWF, maybe not WCW, but mayhem describes what we cause in the ring when we would broadcast or what we bring to the mic. It's complete mayhem to the viewers. It's crazy. We're unique. We're different. And from that, and Mark Mayhem just is a good nickname for me. It flows. Double M. It's how it is. And it's not. And everyone should know. It's not only MCW is not only targeted around me.
Okay. Now here's a question for Graham Hall. Graham, have you ever felt like at one point that as a champion that with your character, have you ever felt like targeted with a bullseye on your back because you were the champion at one point?
Oh, definitely. When you're the champ, everybody wants a piece of the champ. I mean, I don't lose. So I mean, somebody wants to be that first to make me lose. And I mean, Sam, you did bring up something. There are other MCWs, but none of them like us. There's Midget Championship Wrestling and Mayhem and Maryland Championship Wrestling. But no. I mean, people come at me all the time. I've had promos cut on me from people who deserve it. I've had promos cut on me from people who don't deserve it. And me as the champ, I don't think anybody really is on my level. So I mean, I'll just remain the champ until somebody's big enough to take it away from me.
Now, I understand as I look here in your background, you have two sons that are wrestling behind you, and they are coming up in the company. How do you feel about them coming up in the company and working along with you? Are you training them to wrestle like you? Are you going to move them on in different styles of so they can build their own character in the company?
Now with my two, well, I'll just call them my proteges. Not to get too big into the smart mark territory here, but in MCW they're my proteges. But let's just say that they're making their own way in the company, and some things they do I agree with, some things that have happened with them I do not agree with, and stay tuned and you'll see how I deal with what I do not agree with.
Okay. Now I understand that you were in the past, for the longest time you held one of the longest title reigns for a while, and you basically played the Brock Lesnar role, and you were a no-show. That basically you were becoming a mercenary, and you just were paid for different shows to come in. Now that is the technical word for Brock Lesnar, which he is a mercenary that is just paid and does not care about his fans. Just shows up and just wrestles and then he leaves. That's all he cares about is the money and not his fans. Now, is that true?
For a time there, yeah, I guess you could have considered me a mercenary. And I mean, if you want to compare me to Brock Lesnar, I won't deny that comparison. But if you look at the past episodes and what actually happened, I actually got treated like Brock Lesnar. I lost my title, very similar to the way that Brock Lesnar did. I'm still a little mad about that, but I've moved on since then.
Now, I have a curious question for you. I watched that title match, and the thing is, I've seen it to find to be interesting because you didn't lose, technically. It was a no disqualification match, and the thing is, Dave Rose was pinned, and that's what led to Marky D getting a hold of that title. Now, as me being just an interviewer, not a part of the company, I lead to believe that, do you think any of that was rigged at any point for that to happen to you, for you to lose your title?
Well, we did have a little bit of referee issues a couple weeks before where we had some corrupt referees, but that was all fixed before my title match, I thought. But, I mean, when I look back at it, I still didn't lose. I'm the only person in the company that's been there from day one that has not been pinned, that has not submitted, and I'm the only holder of both championships in the company. So
technically, you're like John Cena.
Whoa, please don't ever compare me to John Cena. Okay, I can actually wrestle.
Well, no, because that's, John Cena, he's never submitted at all, except for that pre-recording that John Laurinaitis put out there when he was in that I Quit match. Wasn't it John Laurinaitis that did that? Or,
yeah, that was John Laurinaitis put that back there. And I mean, it seems to me that there seems to be major promotions that have their eyes on MCW, because I kind of feel like they're stealing our storylines a bit. Because, well, if you look at it, what was it? Back in March, or what was it? The first pay-per-view, Mayhem Mania, was just before WrestleMania, where I lost my title, and then what happens? Brock Lesnar loses it in the same way. I mean, storylines of ours just keep getting taken by these large entities, and I keep telling Mark that he needs to go and sue, but I'm not sure what he's going to do.
Yes. Now, I'm okay. So, Isaac Rojas.
My knee.
Yes, the man with the technical problems with his knee. The man that is the tech-savvy genius at making promos. Now, I understand that, Marky, I understand that you are, wait a minute, not Marky, but Isaac, Isaac. I understand that you are most of the guy that runs the show in the background. And also I've heard that you have become a wrestler also. Do you feel like that hinges what you do on your wrestling between your backstage work?
I think it's a good way of expansion, not only wrestling-wise, but just for entertainment, but also for experience. And you could always see how the crowd reacts. You can't have the crowd like being forced down your throat like how Roman Reigns was. But being a wrestler, it's a hard thing to do.
Now, Isaac, I've looked at your character, and you play kind of a sinister character. Am I right?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
Now, have you had any plans of gunning for the championship? Or are you just planning to stay at the mid-card level? Or what's your plans in MCW? Do you plan to rise up
Oh, hold
above?
on. I gotta shout out real quick. I would like to shout out my friend on Twitter. He's tweeting me as he's watching the show. His name is Juan Julio. His username is at Juan Julio Live with an underscore and 2 X's. That is Juan Julio Live with 2 underscores and 2 X's. And he says, give me a shout out. And yeah.
Juan Julio.
Yes.
Go check his channel out. What does he do exactly on his channel?
He watches the show.
Oh, so he's a fan of MCW, am I right?
Tommy Talks.
Oh, a fan of Tommy Talks?
Well,
and,
both now.
Tommy,
Yeah.
you got yourself a fan.
Both
That's
now, yes.
exciting.
Juan Julio. Again, that is underscore X Juan Julio. That's a capital J, everyone. X underscore.
Now,
Yes.
Isaac, the question was that before you gave that shout out, the question was do you have any plans? Do you have any plans for certain title reigns at all? Are you planning to stand back and wrestle and then go to the championship ring?
What's good about MCW is you go back and forth. It's not really a mid-card because we have a lot of diverse talent. And coming through with a bunch of characters, I think there is a possibility you might see me go towards a specific, I wouldn't say championship, but a specific goal towards the future of MCW.
Isaac actually had a title shot against Mark Mayhem, so it's not like he's ever had a chance before.
It's I find I'm sorry I didn't watch that episode. I was extremely busy doing stuff, coordinating stuff. So
I would actually recommend, Tommy, that you start from episode 1 because, quite honestly, there's so many great episodes, and it just goes great from episode 1 onwards. There's already 8 episodes in of Tuesday Takedown. You've also got 2 episodes already in of Showcase Sundays. You've got 1 pay-per-view in with another one coming up for April 26th, which is April Anarchy. So definitely worth looking over again because each episode is just chock full of excitement, chock full of action, incredible viewing, and just incredible commentary. Definitely worth watching from the very beginning.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
You going to be taking viewer questions this episode?
Yeah, sure. As long as there are questions for me and also my guests, the four
I
members
can't
of this.
see the comments for some reason on my end.
Yeah, they're being very heavily monitored today.
Yes, very heavily.
Juan
Yes.
Julio.
But
Hey,
we're
Tommy, these guys are gonna have to start paying you for all the advertisement, man.
What kind of questions are the viewers asking?
what kind
Okay,
of
we've actually got one that might be good for right now. It's actually about all of MCW. The question is, does MCW have any titles other than World Heavyweight title?
I'll answer that. We have our Hardcore Championship, and we have a global MCW Global Championship. But as our roster grows, there will be more additions added.
Including for the budding tag team championship division. So be sure to check out the pay-per-view because that's going to be the unveiling of the new tag team championship title.
Woo!
Now, will there be two titles or just one title, or that you guys will? Now I understand since it's a tag. I hope that's not redundant. But are you guys going with the lengths of what WWE does and have two belts, or are you going to have one belt with two guys?
We're going one belt for the tag team partners. We're gonna have.
Now,
They're not gonna share one belt, Tommy. They're gonna have two individual belts, but they're gonna be their tag team partners, and they're gonna be champions. Whoever wins.
okay. Well, when you start building up this tag team universe and you're in the MCW universe, now how will these tag teams be judged by their skills or their values in the ring? I'm curious.
Well, slowly, if you watch the episodes, you see tag teams being made. As today, the unveiling of the DWO basically happened, and there's gonna be more to come. You're gonna have a lot more factions. You're gonna have more teams, and they're being judged on how they perform in the ring. We want people. We don't have losers in our company. We're all full of winners. So that's gonna be challenging on who deserves the belt, but they're gonna prove themselves in the ring.
Okay. Well, that is a very interesting. That is a very good answer. Um, So I think right now I'm going to open this up to an open segment where can go back and forth and have conversations about MCW and maybe mixture of wrestling and also other topics that if you guys would be interested in talking about, and also MCW. And also, I just want to let you know, folks, these gentlemen also have shirts and spreadshirts. Devious Dave has a spreadshirt website. Also. Mark Mayhem, don't you have a Marky D? Don't you have a?
MarkyD.spreadshirt.com. Devious Dave Rose has.
DeviousDaveRose.spreadshirt.ca.
And Graham has.
Spreadshirt.com.
Oh, fuck. Oops. that was nothing.
You should know better.
No better for what?
Oh, for what you just say. I know how. I heard how that slipped out, boy.
I'm so confused right now. Like,
I dropped my glass, basically.
Aw.
It was, but thank goodness it was just filled with water.
Johnny.
What is now? Curious question. What is Johnny all about exactly?
Tommy, if crumbs fall from your ceiling when you bounce, wouldn't water go through too?
Johnny.
Now, what is that supposed to mean exactly when you say that exactly?
Right, Isaac? Just Johnny.
Nothing. It's just Johnny.
Johnny.
Oh, just
You don't know who Johnny is?
Johnny.
No, I don't know.
I'd like to shout out Johnny.
I'm gonna find out this again.
So,
Okay.
what's going on? Is there something going on here, guys?
It's a mute fest.
I don't think
Graham
so.
muted me.
Sam, how come?
I don't know what's really going on.
Sam, how come you muted Mark?
No, that was
I didn't
Graham.
mute anybody.
It was
I'm not
Graham.
muting no one. I'm not muting anybody.
It was Graham.
Graham, how come you're muting people? Was there a problem?
I don't like Johnny.
I understand that. So, gentlemen, what subjects would you like to talk to about MCW exactly? Or, well, here's an interesting question.
Hey, want to take some questions?
Sure. What's some of the questions in the chat?
Okay. Well, this is okay. There was 4 questions. I asked one of them because it was to do with MCW. We got the answer. So, question 1: do you know when you're going to be on Tosh.0?
No, not exactly. I haven't heard, but I know it was going to be late April or May.
April. All right.
Maybe late
May.
April, but I don't know. But it hasn't been decided yet.
Okay. Now here's a heavy question, Tommy. Do you watch NXT on the WWE Network?
I've watched a few episodes, and I have to say the most dominating wrestler in there is Kevin Owens. And did I get the name right, guys? Guys,
What?
did I get the name right?
For who?
Kevin Owens, the guy.
Yes,
is
indeed,
now,
sir.
Kevin Owens, I have to say, is the most, I have to say, next dominating force in the WWE, in my opinion. I think.
Wahahaha.
All right, that's
WWE.
a good answer, man. Because there's a follow-up to that question. Do you think the NXT roster is better than the main roster? And what are your thoughts on the NXT roster?
Hell yes. I think the NXT, from what I've seen from the NXT, what's been coming from the NXT workshop, I think it's better than the wrestlers that we have on, TV with Monday Night Raw. I think that the people that they have now here on the current product of TV, is just like throwing a dog turd into a paper bag, and all we see is Kane and Big Show running around like the Authority, and I believe there needs to be some change in the WWE, and it's just or either Vince McMahon needs to croak or somebody else needs to take the reins of WWE, because I think WWE is running out of people to save their company, because once in a while WWE will drop in ratings and then Vince McMahon will grab up the phone and say, "Well, hello there. I need a Samoan. I need you to come wrestle for me. How much you want me to pay you? How much? Okay, I'll pay you."
All right, last one.
Why does this guy sound like Batman? This guy sounds like Batman.
During the video
What Batman
you
became.
did addressing the fans last week,
I'm Batman.
were you referring to people who were talking about bringing Drew and the Boston Crew back?
Now here's the deal about that.
I'm sorry, Tommy. To me, though, I would actually want the Food Dude recruit. I'm really missing Hamza right now. I would go for that, but that's just my 2 cents.
Food dude, food dude, food dude.
Yes, yes.
No, guys, it's actually the Food Dude review crew. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Guys, is there any questions for MCW exactly right now for the MCW crew here?
I got one. Has there been any game crashes?
Game crashes?
Mark?
Oh,
Yeah, because
you know, how about I give my own 2 cents about this? I think there is like another video game crash about to happen. In case some people don't really know, though, it's just because we've been seeing too many games coming up very fast lately. Maybe just bad designing in games as well. You know, stuff like that, because the last time we
There's
ever had
another
a
question
video
for
game crash
MCW.
back in 1983, and a lot of video game companies back then went bankrupt. Like, before this video game crash happened, there would be so many game consoles out there, your head would spin. It's like, whoa, what's all these consoles?
Tommy, we
Yes.
got another question for MCW.
What's that question?
Okay, MCW, do you guys consider yourself part of the Tommy Network?
Absolutely not. I'm have to say, We're our own thing.
To quickly go back to
Okay,
this question,
Tommy,
to
do
make a long
you
story
consider
short, I
MCW
think
to be
a
part
video
of
game
the Tommy
crash may
Network?
happen.
Just a second, man. Honestly, the only person that is a member, a Super Tommy head, well, he's a member of the Tommy Network, and that would be Graham Hall, the strongest supporter here. And now, all these guys are cool in my eyes. All of them are. I treat them fairly. Now, Graham Hall has donated into the Tommy Network to help build structure and help build this massive building, which is going to be the Tommy Network, and I appreciate his donation. And if anybody would like to donate to the Tommy Network, you can go to patreon.com/TommyNC2010 and become a Super Tommy head and help build this network, which is the Tommy Network.
And
And
you can laugh at that, but it's true. You get some great benefits, and if you become a Super Tommy head, not just a Tommy head, superfied, okay? And you become an unofficial member of the Tommy Network until it becomes official.
Dan, what are those benefits?
Friends with benefits.
Oh God.
where is Graham?
Okay, for example, if you donate $200, Graham Hall said he'd let Tommy smash him on the head with a metal chair. So that's a good benefit.
Yes, Graham Hall said he would come up here to North Carolina and let me whack him in the head with a steel chair. Yes. I am waiting for somebody to donate.
Maybe Juan Julio will.
And
John, you gotta donate, man, because you can do that. You can be the one who okays this movement, the steel chair connecting with the head.
Since Graham Hall is back, Graham Hall, what is it like being a fellow Super Tommy head? What is it like?
Hey, I enjoy getting the first run content before anybody else. I mean, I get to see what you're doing before anybody else does. And I like being on the inside fact, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, on the inside fact. Yes. Make it good. Make it last. Look to the stars. Don't you guys agree? Guys, I have another question for you here. What is all your opinion? What is your opinion on bullying? What is your opinion on that?
Not nice.
Devious Dave Rose, what is your opinion on bullying?
I love it.
You love it?
Oh shit. He's
No,
breaking kayfabe, people.
Exactly. No, obviously it's not a good thing. I mean, what were you expecting me to say, Tommy?
Well, I just hear if anybody has any personal stories here they want to let out here on the show that I give you the floor.
Want to hear my story about bullying, Tommy?
Sure. What is your personal
Okay.
story?
I was all excited to go to high school, first year of high school. I found a cool group of friends who, we hung out all the time. Late nights, partying, girls, all this stuff. We hung out at this one specific place, okay? It was like the hangout spot. This was a garage in someone's backyard. All of a sudden, these people started graffiti on the walls. It wasn't just no regular graffiti. It said, Mr. Erasmus is a faggot. And it said it like, you see in a horror movie, there's, I will kill you all over the walls. This said Samlock is a faggot. And I thought, what the hell? I didn't think much of it. I thought these guys are still my friends, but it taught me an important life lesson, man. You gotta know who you're friends with and who you're putting your energy into.
Well
I got
said.
my story, if you don't mind.
Sure. What is your story, Grant?
All right, so I'll go back to high school as well. I've never been the smallest of individuals. Like right now, I'm a 300-pound man. I've been very large my entire life. I think I was born 300 pounds. But at one point in my life, I was 230 pounds. Back in, I think it was about a freshman in high school. So I was a country boy. Never played any sports up until high school. Never really had a whole lot of friends. I went into high school and I was that fat kid. Okay, so what? Got picked on a little bit. Then I decided when the history teacher, who was also the football coach, had said, "Hey, I want you to come try out for the team." So I went and tried out for the team, made varsity my freshman year, and started lifting weights. Gained a little bit more weight. And then I started bullying the bullies.
Wow.
I realized that my size did matter.
So at the end, you become what you hated.
No. I picked on bullies. If I caught a bully bullying somebody smaller or bigger, whatever, I started demolishing them. And that's how I've lived my life.
Wow. That is,
My friend.
you know, reason why I bring up bullying is because recently, I don't know if you know this, but Joe Cronin was, I was watching some of his stuff today, and he was being apparently bullied and very viciously bullied. And Joe Cronin said that if this guy was not taken down off YouTube, that he was going to not make videos anymore. No Monday Night Raw reviews because of
I'm just going to put in my piece. I don't believe that a grown adult can be bullied.
I'm getting
too,
some of that
yeah.
right now on my YouTube channel, Tommy. I'm doing all these Mario Golf acapellas, and guess what's happening? Everybody's just hitting that dislike button for no reason. What is with that, people?
Well, you know, in my philosophy, that is just people that are ignorant and they are just going to the video and they don't care to watch the material. So the best thing for them to do is that they surround the hate button and they just keep pressing it. So it looks like it's 100 dislikes. But you know what? Your dislikes don't matter to me because in the end game, it's all about positivity and the thumbs up. No thumbs down. Always. Subscribe.
I wish
Just a
somebody
sec.
could bring some of that positivity over to my channel,
Tommy.
Tommy. Do these people who's boss?
Tommy,
Yeah.
Because I really need it right now. Mario Golf acapella is just becoming a disgrace.
Okay.
In this project
Yeah.
since March.
Um.
What is that?
Second cam. Just for a
Okay.
second, please.
okay.
Just a second.
So, we got some good partners on Reddit. There are the good ones, there are the bad ones, but the good ones want to know, what exactly is the Tommy Network? Is it like half screen or full screen, like a YouTube network, or how do you become a part of it as a content creator?
What do you mean? Are you now? The thing is that you are now with your donation, you are donating to help build this channel, to help make this channel more structured and better editing qualities, and maybe the thing is, the fact with the donations are merely to build up this channel to maybe someday I could even rent out a studio and make more videos and become a full-time YouTuber so I can entertain you guys more. That's what the Tommy Network is about. That's the simplest I can say about what a Tommy Network is that the fact that I'm building a company, and you guys, I appreciate your help and your donations, and that you will be getting rewards
Hey,
when you don't.
Tommy, this might be a good time to ask a question. You've had a Patreon for like over a month now, so you must have had a paycheck. Can you give us an example of what that money goes towards?
Now that money will go to gadgets and devices that will make the channel better, editing software. Now, when I think I have to make over $100 at least on Patreon. I think I've heard to get a paycheck. But the thing is, that money goes directly to devices and all sorts of gadgets and maybe editing softwares, and in the future, buildings, and also supplying my members of my team uh, benefits to work to helping full time, so someday I could build up a strong company, and instead of becoming a full-time YouTuber and making videos every single day for you guys. That is what I wanted to do for you guys, is provide more entertainment for you guys. And with my hectic schedule, with you guys, you could change that schedule and make it all about YouTube, because today I have multiple things I have to do running back and forth between my part-time job. And with you guys, you can help me become a full-time YouTuber, and with the Tommy Network, we can go far. Is that good enough an answer for everybody? Because I feel like I've answered this question a million times, and no one cares to understand the question, and I've told a million times what the Tommy Network is about, and I'm like, how many times do I have to tell you what the network is about and what the donations are about also, and becoming a Super Tommy Head, that you will get these rewards, and for $500 a month, I don't know who would want to donate that. I don't know who would donate that much. You will become a full-time. For each show, you will be on a Tommy Talk show with being an MC, answering questions, chilling with us, talking about certain subjects. You will be an MC on here if you donate over $500. Now that is a big amount, but that's just out there. I originally changed that I'll go visit you originally, and then I thought, yeah, that's if I'm getting paid like over if that amount, that wouldn't be enough for me just to go over and what would I do with that person and to that week. But then I decided to make that into, you will become a Tommy NC for each show when you donate on the Tommy Network. Do you guys think that is reasonable for that big amount right there, for that big number?
Now, Tommy, if somebody donates $500, can I go up to North Carolina and hit you in the head with a chair?
And here's a serious question: have you guys at MCW ever thought about making a Patreon or GoFundMe type of thing to get your ball rolling a little more?
Honestly, at MCW, we're not about money. We're not about where we're going. We're about how we're working as a family, because at the end of the day, we're a family. And we work to entertain each other. We all love going back and watching our episodes. We're not about the money. We're not about monetization. We're not about the subscribers. You subscribe because you enjoy it. We're not forcing subscribers.
It seems like a lot of fun just to be involved with it. But I've also heard it being called a product, and typically a product is meant to sell. And, Patreon is about getting paid in order to create a product that people like, right? So say someone likes your product, they can say, here you go, here's $5 a month, so I can keep getting that same product.
Okay, but why do we need to be paid to give the people what they want? If you're a fan, you're gonna continue watching it. We have our shirts. You can go buy a shirt. We would make a small commission off of it, but we're not about it. We're making what we do because we want you to have something that you like.
So basically, Sam, we get paid. All the individuals involved in MCW, we get paid off of sale of our shirts. And I mean, if you watch any episode of MCW, there's a plug in there for everybody's shirts somewhere while they're in the ring. So it just drives people to go buy a shirt. Because not only will that, to me, I'd much prefer somebody buy my shirt, because they go buy my shirt, and then somebody asks them, where did you get that shirt? And they tell them where. And then then they say, oh, well, I'm going to go buy that shirt.
Now, I have a question for you, Marky D. If I was to say, make a shirt, but make a personalized shirt with my character on there, would that be allowed?
Am I going to get a part of that $500 you're going to be making off of Patreon?
I'd love to see. I might even buy a shirt where it's the Tommy NC logo, the globe with the hat on it.
Or you know what I could go for? One with Tommy standing on the front, probably just doing this, and then it just says, "Be positive" right across the top in all capital letters.
Sega Camp. Tommy's not positive in MCW.
What?
Well, yes, my character is to be honest, my character is the, Well, if you ask some of my victims, if you ask Tommy NC how he feels about MCW, he can give you an answer that will be of laughter and evil. And yes, my character is destructive. He leaves destruction in his path, and that is his goal.
But I would like to point out for all of Tommy's
Is it the
fans,
Joker?
Tommy has done a great job in MCW, but he has not beaten anyone on this panel.
And he got beat by grandson, the baby of the family.
Yes.
No, that one doesn't
gotta
count.
point it
That
out.
one doesn't count.
That does count. It's dues. You gotta count dues.
Oh, well, I have had my losses, but I have to say that I hope for more story build for my character in the future in MCW. I am a part of it. Now, I have said in the past that strictly this is not a volunteer thing at all. MCW is a family thing. Now, the main thing of it is I have been told by MCW is it's a family thing, and in that family, it's what you say, a group of wrestling fans. If you are a wrestling fan, am I right, Mark? So I'm not saying anything wrong here, that MCW is a family of wrestling fans, am I right?
Mark, unmute and answer.
I was
Mark.
not. Yes, you
Which
are.
You said I'm wrong?
You're right. You are right. Right.
So you're saying if anybody wants to become a member, they have to audition, am I right? That's what you're saying. You have to audition, and if you are approved, am I right?
You are correct.
Yes.
Yes. And now here's the thing. To prove you, now the thing is when you do your character, you have to prove yourself determined to show MCW why you should be a part of MCW. Now, only a few people can be picked with their promos and storylines. Am I right, Mark?
You are correct.
Now, here's the thing. Since it is Mark's game, it is Mark's rules and Mark's way on the show, and he designs all the storylines, goes back and forth between the Devious One and Graham Hall, and these gentlemen going back and forth and discussing the storylines to create some of the most epic shows. Now, for instance, one of the most epic shows was Mayhem Mania, which my character won his match. And I felt like I was very lifted by that point. It's a very high point in my character's career that he could, main event. It wasn't a main event match, but it was a match at Mayhem Mania, and now he could put that underneath his belt and then go off and be more dominant. Am I right, Mark?
You're correct. Maybe.
Now,
Maybe.
let me butt in here and say something to all these people that are interested in even thinking about becoming members of MCW. Mark would have kicked me off a long time ago, except for I'm the most popular person on the show.
No, I wouldn't. I would never kick you off. I love you. At the end of the day, we might act like we hate each other. I fucking love you.
Hey, V-Chip, engage, Mark.
Oh,
Now, has there ever been... Now, here's a big question, a humongous question in the air. I have heard that there was a termination or a quitting in MCW, and it caused a bit of controversy in the NCW family. Now, can we discuss this person's name, or is that name
I
cast?
have no problem discussing it. Graham, do you have a problem discussing it?
Not a bit.
Dave, do you have a problem discussing it?
I defer to the CEO and founder of MCW, Mr. Mark Mayhem.
Isaac, any problems discussing
I haven't heard of this, so this is news
Isaac,
to
there's
me.
a jackass who quit. You know. Oh, sorry. Forgot. PG.
Yeah,
Is a-
I don't know.
No, that was his name, though.
You cannot.
Oh,
you cannot
are you
edit
you're
out
talking
his name.
about Donkey?
Excuse me?
You're
My
talking
mom-
about Donkey?
Pantalones? Apparently,
Pantalones.
Jaren Jackass.
The liar. The fibber.
The man that said he went to WrestleMania, but you guys couldn't find him at WrestleMania?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he quit because he got buried. Oops. It's his loss. People get buried
He
every day.
lost one match.
He lost one match. I got buried. I get buried in my own company, basically. Graham gets buried by accident.
So the story is that he was mad that he got buried, and that's the reason why he quit. Is that true?
Basically, yeah.
Yep. He got mad that he lost one
claimed
match and he
Tommy did it.
decided to quit.
He claimed it was somewhat due to the commentary, but anybody that has heard myself and Devious Dave Rose on commentary, no one is
Target.
no one is a specific target, but everyone is a target. We talk trash about everyone's character. We do not talk about them as individuals. We talk about their character. And our words were misconstrued at one point to where the individual believed that we were speaking directly about him and not his character.
Because that's what Mitches do.
That's
Okay.
not a bad word. He said Mitches with an M.
If you guys do not know what a Mitch is, go to Graham Hull's channel and watch his rant on Mitch.
Mitchell Bade, Mitchell Bade, Mitchell Bade, Mitchell Bade.
Now, the question is, before I end off the show, the big question here is, it's always been an interesting question. Has there ever been copying? Have you, Marky D, has there ever been copying between? I know, because have you ever used any storylines from WWE or Monday Night Raw? I was just curious.
We would never have to, because we have a better product than WWE Monday Night Raw. We have better storylines, so there would be no point in us copying their storyline.
They've used ours.
That's right, they have.
Now, another question for you, Mark. Have you guys, has there ever been a character in MCW kind of like, say, The Undertaker? Or is there ever going to be a character like The Undertaker?
There already is one. Lord
Who's
Dark.
that?
I think he's talking about streak, mostly. If
What's
I'm
that?
not mistaken. I think he's talking more about the streak of The Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
But those are questions that you just gotta watch to see what happens.
Okay.
You gotta tune in to find out.
And speaking of our Undertaker of our company, he's not our streak. He actually has one of the bad records of it. I want to give a shout out to Lauren Darkin, our Dark Man of MCW.
Tommy,
Too
we're
sweet.
gonna do DVD lottery tonight.
DVD lottery? Oh yes. If you guys care if I do that, I know this is my show, but you guys care if I do that. It's kind of a segment of my show.
Your show, do whatever you want.
Okay. Oh, dang it. Hold on a second.
Make it random. Make it random.
Is it gonna be Juan Julio?
Juan Julio got to start paying money by hour, man.
Hey, so do you.
What is that?
Are you an MC?
Patreon.
I'm Tommy's main man, brother.
You're an MC, right? Do the MCs right
You
here,
rap?
right now, follow the rules of Tommy Talks?
So, like, do
they
you rap
join
or something?
Tommy.
Yes.
You want to
is
see
there-
if I am really crap? You want to ask me if I really rap? I don't give you deps. None of that. No, it's not gonna happen because I ain't none of that. All of that, MCW, hearing about it. Hey, wait, Tommy, why don't you shout it?
That didn't answer my question.
What's the DVD, Tom?
It is Terminator 2. I have to say that this film was a very very
Regular
epic.
or special edition?
Hold on a second. This is with the package that I found it at a truck stop as I was traveling.
I have
And-
the movie on Blu-ray too, Tommy. It still looks as awesome as it does back then.
You know, the graphics in this was amazing. Now, as you know, when they try to revive series, different series, and they make different movies of the Terminator series. Just recently, they have just made the second installment to the Terminator series, and now what they're doing? Basically, guess what? Guess what? Terminator 2? You could throw that right out the window. That didn't happen. Nothing. Nothing happened. The Terminator didn't come back to save John Connor when he was a kid. Nope. That didn't happen because in
this new one now, it seems now the whole timeline now of all the Terminator movies is just completely obsolete now. Once this new one comes out, it's gonna be like we don't really need the timeline anymore. We can just take that and just throw it right out the window.
Okay. The MCW crew, what is your opinion on this new development? And also another question, another topic we have is there any Deadpool fans here?
What I say about Terminator, don't knock it till you try it. Deadpool, he's okay, I guess, but he's to me he's too oversaturated. People like him because apparently he's the cool thing to like, but they don't really understand what the character's really all about. And it's cool that they're going to make a movie about it, but again, he's only popular because he's sort of in the niche right now, and it's not anything that people truly appreciate for his actual origins in the Weapon X storyline.
All right. Graham, what is your opinion on these two topics?
First off, Terminator, one of my favorite series of movies in the history of all movies, because it's got Schwarzenegger, and I like him. But I do like Rise of the Machines is my best one, is my favorite one. But Deadpool, I'm curious to see how they go with the movie here. I want to see how they do it, so I'm not going to judge it until after I've seen it. But if you ever get a chance, Tommy, since I know you like comics and you like comic people, I know you like Deadpool, so check out on Netflix the new Daredevil series. It's actually awesome.
I've been seeing it, and actually, I'll be honest, I will get to that, but I've been re-watching episodes of Trailer Park Boys because I'm a big fan of that show.
Yes. Yes. Tommy, good man.
It's I have to say, when I first started watching that show, Trailer Park Boys, I thought it was absolutely stupid, but then I just got into the storyline, and it just made me laugh every single time, and rewatching some of the episodes just make me go back. And to say with you, Graham, that I hope that the Deadpool series, since Ryan Reynolds is playing the actual Deadpool and actually has the actual costume, and the leaking of that trailer was epic. If you haven't seen the trailer for the Deadpool leaked footage, it is hilarious and awesome. This is Rick McKenty in leather!
Tommy, check it out.
Terminator. Isaac, what is your opinion on these two topics, right? About Deadpool and the new Terminator movie?
They have nothing to do with each other.
Yes, they've completely changed the foreground for Terminator. Now, what is your opinion on the Deadpool movie?
I'm a Deadpool fan, so I'm excited. But I just hope they don't ruin it, because even though it's funny, that could be like the only funny moment in the movie, and then we could all be disappointed. You never know.
Now, who else? Now, I definitely know, Mark, are you now, Mark Hyder, not Marky D, but Mark Hyder, have you ever been a fan of the Terminator series or Deadpool series at all?
Not Deadpool, but more Terminator.
Oh, okay.
It's
So-
like one line is like no fate when she scratches with a knife. And
Hello, Governor.
yeah, that is a memorable scene.
Yes, very. That is very memorable from
Yeah.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Now, Marky D, what is your opinion on the Terminator series and Deadpool
I'm
series
looking
right now?
forward to it because I'm a big fan of Arnold. Arnold is
Get out!
Isaac, shut up.
Down.
Arnold started the whole bodybuilding trends. He's the leader. And with Terminator 5, Genesis. Genesis means beginning. So let's see how they begin with it. And
Okay.
Deadpool, I love Deadpool as a superhero. So anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. He's gonna.
Anti-hero.
I
They're
feel like
not good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
it's gonna be pretty good.
Now, do you think it's going to have the same vulgarity and same violentness as the comic book, or do you think they're going... Now, I watched a game of Deadpool, and I was like, yikes, Deadpool is extremely vulgar and extremely violent. At one point, I think he was actually decapitated. His whole body was decapitated, and he kept on fighting still in his game. I remember he did all these effects in the game, and he finally, they ran out of money in the game, and he's like, what the heck is going on here? And they're like, all that much explosions and all that stuff, we ran out of money, Deadpool! He's like, well, get the money to get the game back up again. I think it's funny. He breaks the third wall. He doesn't care. He knows he's in a comic book. So I think it's kind of funny. He makes him different than any other superhero, an anti-hero that knows.
Hey, Tommy, are you drinking Coogee wine?
No, I'm actually drinking water. Who made that crack?
Tommy, you should play Comic Zone on the Sega Genesis. That was one crazy game. You're just going through a comic book in that game as well.
Leave me alone.
Hey, Tommy, can I ask you a question, sir?
What's that?
Oh, I messed up. It's Comic Zone is the next on the end. Comics.
Okay, yes, Graham?
Well, you had brought up the Trailer Park Boys, and since I know that you, myself, Sam, and the Devious Dave Rose, are Trailer Park Boy enthusiasts, I'm curious as to what your favorite Ricky-ism is.
What do you mean?
Like, get two birds stoned at once, good things come to those at the gate, Gorilla City, Gorilla Dude.
Radies.
Case Ontario, I like that one.
The funniest one is Radies. I recently watched that one with the panther, and not the panther, but the cougar. Am I getting that right?
That's right.
Yeah, Tommy.
Steve French, the cougar.
Yes, that's. I think he's like he might have rabies, and he's like, and then Bubbles is like,
It's rabies, Ricky. It's rabies. And that's what I said, rabies.
But hey guys, I hate to do this, but I had to cut this short. But thank you guys for coming on tonight. This was been an awesome show. Thank you and you go check out Marky D's channel and check out the MCW family. And all these guys are cool and most awesome entertainers that I've ever met, a part of a wrestling community. And we all have to thank Joe Cronin because magnificently that we came together because of that man. And I have to say, guys, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for giving your time up. And as always, I am Tommy, NC2010, and I'm keeping you on the inside. Fact. See you next week. Adios, amigos.
Pineapples.
Goodbye.